Have you ever been winning an argument? Then the other person says sorry, and suddenly you're the one feeling guilty and backing down? That's not an accident, it's a sneaky psychological trap designed to shut down your judgment. Today, we'll break it down word for word, how one little sorry creates guilt, lowers your defenses, and tricks you into accepting their side. Stick around, in just a few minutes you'll spot this tactic everywhere. And at the end, we'll look at a real case. Let's get down to practice. I'll use a segment from a relatively high-profile incident that took place not long ago as an example. This illustration is solely for the purpose of logical analysis. In November 2020, Spanish actress Carla Sof a gas can posted on X, formerly Twitter, instantly sparking controversy. This wasn't a casual offhand complaint. It was a meticulously crafted rhetorical maneuver from beginning to end. Let's break it down word by word, reconstruct her exact line of reasoning, and see precisely what she was doing. Start with sorry. That word is anything but a genuine apology. It exploits one of the most ingrained habits in human social interaction. When someone opens with sorry, we instinctively lower our guard and become more accommodating. She's creating an implicit psychological constraint before you've even decided how to respond. You're already pressured to give her the benefit of the doubt. The underlying motive is always what serves her interests better. By softening resistance to what comes next, she reduces the weight you give to your own independent judgment in memory, cognition, and attention. You feel uncomfortable precisely because, right from the first word, you've been passively pulled along. That's the core of the design. Next, is it just my impression? Pay attention to just. Adding it makes the claim feel smaller and less confrontational. It lowers the stakes of social friction and makes the audience more likely to accept it. But the hidden logic is to frame the entire statement as a personal impression, which sets up a softer entry point for the more definitive claim that follows. She treats her subjective feeling as the default premise of the argument, using vague personal perception to pave the way for a much stronger, more objective-sounding assertion later. Then, or are there more and more Muslims in Spain? The or creates the illusion of offering the reader a choice. But this is a classic presupposition trap. Whether you answer yes, it's just your impression, or no, it's real, you've already accepted the underlying premise that Muslims in Spain are increasing. Her goal was never to prove that premise, it was her predetermined foundation. What she's really doing is escalating probability, nudging possible toward probable. For Spaniards who already feel uneasy, it reinforces existing beliefs. For a global audience, it plants the premise as a given. The we that comes later will reveal exactly how broad an alliance she's trying to build. Primal instinct to protect one's children. Now the emotional hook. Every time I go to pick up my daughter from school, I see more women wearing headscarves, skirts down to their ankles. This is where she pivots from abstract to visceral. The relatable scene of picking up my daughter triggers empathy, especially among parents. The concrete, vivid details, headscarves, skirts down to ankles, turn a statistical, demographic shift into a direct visual threat. The environment around my child is changing. She deliberately heightens the discomfort of cultural difference, manufacturing an implicit sense of invasion of native space. This lands hardest with people whose interests align, particularly mothers, because it directly activates the primal instinct to protect one's children. Finally, the knockout line. Next year we might not need to teach English anymore, we'll have to teach Arabic. We is the peak of manufactured shared interest. It fuses the speaker with anyone who sees English as the cultural default, creating an instant us vs them coalition and seeking much wider buy-in. English and Arabic are stripped of their neutral, functional roles as languages, and turned into loaded symbols of cultural identity and ethnic dominance. This is textbook ethnic and cultural bias projection. It's not a reasoned forecast. It's classic slippery slope fearmongering, slippery slope plus appeal to fear, conjuring extreme panic over our culture being replaced. Taken together, on the surface, she's just sharing a personal observation. In reality, every element is actively engineered. Ideally, strong claims arise from genuine internal necessity. Here, the passive framing is a deliberate mask for external manipulation. When listeners let this logic carry them and suspend independent judgment, a transfer of agency takes place. The weight we give to our own interests shifts heavily toward hers. Once negative perceptions take root, they reinforce each other in a feedback loop, strengthening her framing even more. Now contrast with reality. In 2020, Muslims made up roughly 2-3 of Spain's population. Even today, it's only around 4-5 nowhere, near enough to dominate or displace native culture. English remains the core foreign language taught in Spanish public schools. Arabic appears only in a handful of localized community programs. Her claim is a gross exaggeration detached from the facts. The real goal was never to report reality. It was to use precise word-by-word engineering to amplify possibility, bind interests, project bias, and magnify cultural anxiety across large groups. The next time you encounter similar rhetoric, ask yourself, what is she actually doing here? What kind of demand is she manufacturing? And whose agency, whose sense of self-interest is being quietly shifted in the process?